Hey gamers! If you like roguelike games, then you've come to the right place. Today, I'm going to show you the best roguelike games that you won't regret buying. Please note that some of these games are in early access, but all I know is these game is a must-have for Roguelite fan. Alright then, without further ado, let's get started. Ziggurat 2 is a fast-paced first-person shooter game with roguelite elements. The game follows up on the successful cult classic Ziggurat from 2015. Combat is fast-paced and frantic with a Doom-like vibe. You need to keep moving and shooting to survive. There are several game modes to choose from, including 3 classic modes, a campaign, and a daily challenge. While the campaign mode story is a bit dull, the gameplay mechanics and variety of enemies, weapons, and environments are praised. Not only that, the game also has impressive visuals and an interesting Celtic musical score. Wizard of Legend is an action roguelike game released in 2018 that is still challenging and impressive. This game is all about being a powerful wizard and fighting lots of enemies with cool spells. The game looks amazing when played skillfully, with the wizard pulling off magical kung fu combos and screen-filling special attacks. To make this game easier, try to team up with your friend in this game, which makes so fun and more enjoyable. And don't forget for the sequel Wizard of Legends 2, but the game's still development. Just make sure don't miss it, is definitely must-have. Ravenswatch is a new roguelike game from the creators of Curse of the Dead Gods, with a unique day-night cycle that changes the abilities and playstyles of each hero. You can play alone or with up to 3 friends, and the game scales to accommodate the number of players. Working together provides bonuses, so teamwork can be extremely beneficial. The day and night cycle will have an impact on map challenges, such as surviving waves of enemies to earn perks. These challenges are more difficult at certain times of day, so pick the best time to tackle them. Overall, Ravenswatch is a promising game even though still early access. Noita is a unique roguelike game where every pixel is alive. Everything in the game world reacts realistically. In Noita, you control a wizard who explores caves filled with enemies and treasures. The goal is to get as far as possible without dying, because if you die, you start over from the beginning. There are many surprises in Noita, from strange monsters to mysterious potions and powerful spells. The game always has something new to show you, making it exciting to play again and again. Noita also has special modes like a daily challenge with random items and a practice mode where you start with powerful gear. These modes let you see new things and try different strategies. Crab Champions is a new fast-paced shooting game where you play as a crab. In the game, you travel across islands, shoot enemies, and collect loot. The gameplay is similar to Risk of Rain 2, where you have to aim and shoot while moving your view around, which can cause some motion sickness. The game moves at a very fast pace, with each level only taking 2 to 3 minutes. The shooting and crab movement mechanics are smooth and fun, despite being a bit repetitive. While still needing some polish, the novelty of playing as a gun-toting crab makes the game entertainingly absurd. Future updates may add new modes, areas, weapons, and difficulties. Risk of Rain Returns is a remake of the sequel Risk of Rain 2. The remake has significantly better graphics, new playable characters and items from Risk of Rain 2, quality of life improvements, and no co-op issues that plagued the original. Despite moving back to 2D from 3D, the core gameplay loop of looting, shooting, kiting enemies, and managing escalating difficulty remains intact. The variety of unlockable items and character along with new alternate skills for each character adds immense replayability. While not everything translates perfectly from the 3D sequel, Risk of Rain Returns succeeds at making the beloved original feel modern and definitive. Domekeeper is a relaxing yet challenging game that combines mining and tower defense elements. You play as an astronaut digging through alien planets for resources and relics, while fending off waves of monster attacks on your protective dome base. The beautiful pixel art visuals and sense of scale are highlights. As your dome gets damaged, cracks appear, giving a visual reminder of your precarious situation. You need to balance digging deep for upgrades and relics with getting back to the surface to defend against incoming waves. While the core gameplay loop is repetitive, unlocking new gadgets and taking on modifiers that increase difficulty provides good variety. Returnal is a game that blends third-person shooting with roguelike elements. The shooting gameplay is excellent, fast, frantic, and precise, with a bullet hell style that harkens back to the developer's arcade shooter roots. The visuals are stunning, blending eerie alien landscapes with frenetic neon combat. The boss fights are amazing bullet hell showcases, but are gated by hours of repetitive roguelike gameplay to reach them. The game also features co-op play and the Tower of Sisyphus, an endless game mode with a scoring system and leaderboard. These additions provide more ways to enjoy Returnal, even after completing the main story. Synthetik 2, a top-down tactical shooter game that was popular among its players, but relatively unknown in the gaming community. The original Synthetik was praised for its intense rhythmic gameplay, which required players to precisely time their shots and reloads while fighting robot enemies. The sequel Synthetik 2 expands on the original by transitioning to a full 3D environment. New features include physics-based destruction, more enemy types, additional weapon customization options, and the ability to save your progress during runs. While retaining the original's challenging and frantic nature, Synthetik 2 aims to expand the game's content with new upgrades and weapons, as well as the promise of mod support and online co-op. The game Halls of Torment is described as a mix of Vampire Survivors and Diablo. You play as a small character fighting through waves of enemies in dungeon-like levels, leveling up and choosing upgrades as you go. The game captures the vintage Diablo vibe well with its graphics, enemy designs, and loot system where bosses drop equipable items that provide bonuses. However, it doesn't fully commit to the Diablo-style loot and progression, still using more typical unlockable upgrade systems found in other games like Vampire Survivors. The game's still in early access, but the developer has indicated that with this update, Halls of Torment is getting closer to being finished and leaving early access. Blazeblue Entropy Effect is a stylish and fast-paced roguelike game based on the Blazeblue fighting game series. While it captures the look and feel of the characters' movesets, it has little connection to the overall Blazeblue story. The core gameplay is fighting through 2D action levels with different characters who have unique abilities. You can unlock new characters, level them up, combine their powers, and unlocking new abilities is satisfying. There's also a good variety of environments, enemies, and bosses. If you enjoy good side-scrolling action games, Blazeblue Entropy Effect delivers an excellent experience despite being a spin-off. Roboquest is a fast-paced, first-person shooter roguelite, similar to Gunfire Reborn, but with single-player and two-player co-op modes. The gunplay feels amazing, the combat keeps you on your toes, and the variety of classes, skills, and items make each run exciting. The visuals have a unique comic book-inspired art style, and the soundtrack features energetic techno-rock music that fits the frenetic action well. Moreover, the challenging gameplay and roguelite design provide tons of replay value. If you're looking for a challenging and exciting FPS experience with some replay value, then Roboquest might be a good game for you. Risk of Rain 2 is a third-person shooter roguelike game where you fight against various enemies on an alien planet. The game's difficulty increases as you progress, and you collect items to help you survive. The movement and combat dynamics can be frustrating, but the game becomes more enjoyable with certain characters, such as the one with a grappling hook. The game has a unique and diverse set of enemies, and the right item combinations can drastically change the gameplay. However, unlocking the more interesting characters can be a long and difficult process. The game is praised as one of the best roguelike games of all time. Dead Cells is a challenging, addictive roguelike game where you play as a reanimated prisoner fighting through procedurally generated levels filled with enemies. Who don't know about this game? The gameplay loop involves exploring levels, defeating enemies, gathering resources, and either reaching the end boss or dying and restarting from the beginning while keeping permanent upgrades. Combat relies on well-timed dodges, parries, and managing your health flask. You can level up 3 stat types: brutality, tactics, survival, which boost different equipment and abilities. Overall, it's an entertaining roguelike experience for those who enjoy the challenge and repetitive nature of the genre. Hades 2 already feels like a fantastic follow-up that keeps what made the original great with new elements. In this game, you play as Melino, Zagreus' sister, who controls similarly, but with some key differences like unlimited sprinting instead of multi-dashing. The weapons, boons, and upgrades are all brand new, but maintain the depth of build variety that Hades was known for. The underworld areas have been overhauled with new level designs, and with new progression systems like unlocking Arcana card bonuses. Most notably, the story does not yet have a full ending resolved. But Hades 2 already delivers an extremely compelling roguelite experience that has the makings of another must-play action game from Supergiant Games. And that's it for today. What do you think about this list? I know there are best roguelite games out there that I haven't mentioned yet. Please share your favorite roguelite games that you think deserve a spot here. Don't forget to like this video, and make sure you subscribe to this channel if you don't want to miss another great list. And as always, thank you for watching, and see you in the next video.